The cinnamon candles masked the chill, but not the message. I stood in my mother's kitchen, coat still on, while my sister slid a crumpled seating card into my hand kid's table. Margot, if you're watching this, subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. I smiled, set the card beside the sink, and clicked open my phone to the airport app. Across the hallway, tiny boots thudded like a drum line. We figured you'd keep them busy, Abby said, already halfway to the living room. Help is a gift, not a duty, I said. She blinked. The oven timer sang. I pinched the seating card into a neat fold, the way I fold napkins at work, and tucked it into my pocket. I'm not the family's plan B, I said, and the room went very, very quiet. I'm 34, the daughter who remembers everyone's shoe sizes and flight times, because planning is how I show love. By day, I run winter galas that start on time and end in thank you notes. By night, I keep a color-coded calendar that could land a plane. December is my busy season, so I build my holidays like I build events backward from the moment the lights dim. I'd already blocked Christmas morning for a quiet brunch at my apartment and a video call with Dad's side at 11. My tote held a slim binder with a red tab that read XMAS, a habit from work that keeps peace at home. On my desk sat the week's stack, a bakery pre-order, a courier slip, an invoice I hadn't closed because of a surcharge that annoyed me on principle. The line glared up at me: holiday delivery surcharge, $185, total, $946.20. I pay for small miracles every day and guard them with procedures. When people say I just organize, I smile and let the magic land. I washed a single wine glass, set it to dry, and checked my phone. Then the message preview slid across my screen. The new thread named itself with a familiarity that stung: family, Christmas ops. Someone had added my number by mistake. I watched the bubbles appear and vanish like little breaths. My sister led, 8:14 p.m., Abby, dropping kids at her place, 9 a.m., Christmas, she's best with schedules. 8:16 p.m., Mom, yes, she doesn't mind, we'll pick up after dinner. 8:18 p.m., Leo, I'll send a little, or snacks after, as in 12 hours later. No one asked whether my morning existed, or whether I wanted 5 small bodies and a diaper bag choir in my one bedroom. I scrolled back through older messages, photos of last year's stockings. A joke about my event planner clipboard. I remembered the clipboard, and how I slipped out after the dishes to cry in the elevator where nobody could see. I took 3 screenshots and slid the phone under my binder's red tab. I didn't reply. I didn't announce anything. I opened my laptop and checked the policies. I opened 3 tabs like I do at Workerline, Community Center, Courier, the airline first. The midday nonstop to Boston on the 25th had 6 seats left. The policy page spelled it out in plain type. 24-hour cutoff for name changes. Same-day flight changes permitted with fare difference. I could leave afternoon and still make Dad's side for evening dessert. Next, the Community Center where I've run volunteer craft nights holiday program, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m., cookie decorating and story time. The registration form had a bold line: no drop-offs. Guardian must remain on site. Perfect. If they wanted togetherness, they could have it, with me, not on me. The courier page showed a window to reroute my bakery order. Address changes accepted up to 24 hours before delivery. No redelivery after 6 p.m. I submitted a new drop: Dad's cousin's house in Cambridge. The surcharge stayed, but the food would feed people who'd be happy to see me. I slid the red-tabbed binder open and wrote 2 times in clean ink: 9:30 to 11:30 family craft, 2:05 p.m. flight to Bath. Then the invoice posted. I sketched the morning like a renewed show. At 8:45 I'd arrive with cocoa packets and a bag of icing tubes, then walk everyone to the community center at 9:20. Guardians required meant the adults stayed to togetherness without conscripting me. I printed the program flyer and slid it behind the red XMAS Ops tab. The seating card from my mother's kitchen was still in my pocket. I flattened it on my desk and wrote 2 lines on the back in tidy block letters. I am here as family, not staff. Please plan accordingly. It went into the binder's front sleeve, a reminder from me, not a threat to them. Money clarifies priorities. I pulled up my usual sitter's availability page and took a screenshot of her holiday rate, $28 hour, 4-hour minimum. If they wanted a drop-off, there was a professional path for that. I drafted one short text to the group thread, polite as a place card. 7:41 a.m. me, Christmas morning, I'm attending the 9:30 to 11:30 family craft event at the community center. Guardians need to stay per policy. If you prefer a sitter, I can connect you to $28 hour, 4-hour min prepaid. I attached the flyer. No monologue, no apology. Then I bought the 2:05 p.m. ticket to Boston and rerouted my bakery order. The confirmation dinged. My calendar blocks turned solid. What I didn't account for was the doorbell. The bell kept ringing until I opened. Abby stood there with 2 car seats and a tote the size of a meteor. Mom hovered behind her, cheeks bright with purpose. "We're tight on time," Abby said. "Snacks are labeled. Naps at 11. I'm heading to the community center at 9:20, I said, stepping aside so they could see the flyer on my console table. Guardians must remain on site. That's their policy. Mom exhaled. "You love this stuff." "I love you," I said. "Love without consent is expectation. If you want a drop-off, here's the sitter 28 an hour, 4-hour minimum prepaid." Abby's mouth tightened. "You're really doing this on Christmas?" "I'm doing my Christmas too. At 11:45, I leave for the airport. If you come with me to Cookies and Stories, we'll walk over together. If not, choose the sitter." For a moment, no one moved. Then the younger one reached for my binder, fascinated by the red tab. I smiled and slipped the seating card from my pocket, tucking it into the front sleeve like a tiny flag. "I'm here as family, not staff," I said. Abby's shoulders dropped. "Fine, we'll go," she said. "But we're talking after." "I'd like that," I said, and we started down the stairs. The craft room smelled like cinnamon and washable markers. Abby iced a tree cookie while her oldest lined gumdrops in military rows. Mom read the story twice, voiced gentler the second time. At 11:35, I hugged the kids, wiped a smear of green from my sleeve, and checked my watch. "We'll walk you out," Abby said. Not a question this time. We made a small procession down Maple to the train. On the platform, Mom slipped her arm through mine the way she used to when I was small. No speeches, just the weight of it. At the airport, Gate 12 thrummed with holiday noise. I printed my boarding pass and slid the red tabbed binder into my tote. The seating card peeked from its front sleeve like a reminder. "You really paid almost $1,000 for pastries?" Abby asked, catching the invoice total on my phone as I checked in. "I paid for what I wanted to give," I said. "Help is a gift, not a duty. Next year, if you want childcare, book it and budget it. If you want me, plan me in ask. Don't assign." The final call chimed. The agent lifted the mic for a boarding announcement. Behind us, a toddler shrieked, then giggled. A stranger waved at a camera and said, "Merry Christmas, Mom." Mom nodded at my binder. "You always were good with a plan." "I'm good with boundaries," I said, and handed Abby a business card with the sitter's number on the back. "This is the path when I'm not available." Abby looked at the card, then at me. "I don't want a path around you," she said. "I want to plan with you." They walked me to the rope. I pulled the seating card free, smoothed the crease, and passed it to my mother. "Keep it," I said. "Let's retire that table." Mom tucked it into her purse like a relic. "Safe flight, Margot." "We'll figure dinner." "I know you will," I said. And I stepped into the line as the mic crackled. "Boarding now for Boston." From the jetway, I texted a simple check-in. 3:22 p.m. Me landed. "How's the afternoon going?" 3:24 p.m. Abby. "We're figuring it out." A photo arrived. My nephews in aprons, Mom at the stove, Leo assembling a puzzle on the rug. No captions about martyrdom, no SOS. Later, Abby sent a second picture, her hand sliding a prepaid envelope across a sitter's clipboard. The rate on the receipt matched what I'd quoted. She'd booked 2 hours so she and Mom could reset the table and breathe. At Dad's cousin's house, my rerouted pastries showed up at 5:30 on the dot. We lit a candle for him, and I set the red-tabbed binder by the serving spoons. Not to plan, just to anchor the habit that steadies me. When I checked my phone again, Abby had forwarded the community center's calendar. "We signed up for their winter break mornings," she wrote. "Guardians only. Lesson learned." I smiled and typed what I meant. "Thank you for planning with me." Then I put the phone face down and passed the plate. January looked different. Abby sent a shared calendar invite named Family Real Ops, with color codes for pickups, appointments, and who's on kid duty during holidays. We met one Saturday at my place with tea and muffins. I brought the red-tabbed binder and a thinner blue one labeled Guidelines. We wrote 3 lines that felt like oxygen. Ask before assigning, budget for help, Rotate responsibility. Abby volunteered for Easter brunch. Leo took summer birthdays. Mom surprised us by booking a first aid class for the adults and framing the sitter's card on the fridge with a magnet that said, "Use it." We practiced the new muscle. When Abby needed help in February, she texted 2 weeks ahead with choices, not orders. I said yes because I wanted to. When I needed a weekend to finish a gala, she took the boys for sledding without a committee meeting. Our rhythm wasn't perfect, but it was ours now, built, not assumed. Next Christmas, I arrived to a table lit like a stage and a card at my plate that simply read Margot. The kids' table was gone. 2 small leaves had been added to make room. Abby slid a bowl into my hands and smiled. "You're here as family," she said. I tucked the old seating cart, the one I'd carried all year, into my coat pocket for the last time. Out the window, snow sifted past the porch light like confetti after a show. I set the bowl down, took my seat, and felt the quiet click of a plan becoming a tradition. If you're still here, thanks for listening. I'll meet you in the comments. Your voice matters.